The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The shepherds went with haste to Bethlehem and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. When they saw him, they made known what had been told them about this child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, as it had been told them. After 8 days had passed, it was time to circumcise the child, and he was called Jesus, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. The Gospel of the Lord. Today we celebrate the end of the octave of Christmas. Our gospel passage refers to that, after 8 days had passed. For the Jewish people, the first 8 days of one's life was a very important time. The 8th day, when the same day of the week came around for the second time after birth. And for Jewish boys, it was the day on which they were circumcised and became descendants of Abraham and part of the promised land and part of the chosen people. And for boys and girls, it was the day on which they were given their name, something that they would carry with them for the rest of their lives and into eternity. And so now, on this ending of the octave of Christmas, we have a focus on Mary, the mother of Jesus. On the first day of the octave, the focus was on Jesus, his nativity. On the Sunday following, which this year came the next day, it was the whole Holy Family, the feast of the Holy Family. But at the end of the octave, even though it is the commemoration of Christ's being circumcised, it is his mother whom we commemorate in a special way. And in fact, that's why today in this country is a holy day of obligation. Today is secondly the last day of one civil year, and tomorrow the beginning of a new year. It's a year none of us will ever forget. And yet, we take the years as they come to us. We deal with them as best we can. And so at the end of this year, probably with less festivity than normal, we still should look back at the blessings of the past year. For starters, we're still here. That's something to be grateful for. And we also look ahead, and we ask God's blessing upon us as individuals, as families, as a community, as a province, as a nation, and as a people inhabiting this earth. And we pray that next year will be a healthier year than this past year, and especially the end of the year was. In the light of that, we have the very beautiful blessing, the blessing of Aaron that is found in the book of Numbers. It's one I use quite often because I deeply love it, and always make sure to use it on this day, the eve and the first day of the new year. And finally, the 1st of January is also a World Day of Prayer for Peace. We know our world, peace is always something that has to be struggled for and fought for, and that justice has to be a part of it. And so we continue to pray for peace in our world, and especially in those parts of our world which know a great lack of peace. That this will be at least a little bit better year for those places, and that God will continue to shower his peace through all of us, onto all of his people.